What is up, guys? Welcome to today's video. So what we're going to be doing today is a video that I was actually kind of requested to do by a subscriber down below in the comments. If you guys have any videos that you want me to make, just make sure you go into bird shit. Make sure that you go put that in the comments if you have any suggestions or whatever. Something you want me to talk about, anything like that. You can follow me on Instagram. If you have a direct question on the screen now, you can follow that. But basically, we're going to be talking about how me as a 19-year-old kid can afford to have a truck like this. Alright, so if you guys are not familiar with this truck, if you're new to the channel, this is my 96 F-150. It has the 5.8 liter V8. It has a 6-inch suspension lift, 3-inch body lift, 35-inch tires, which are going to be going to 38s very soon. I'm going to get to that in a second, but those are happening extremely soon now. Like I told you guys, January, and I meant it. So, not that these tires are bad or anything. I absolutely love these tires, but with a 3-inch body lift, I'm going to put 38s on it instead. Yeah, so that's my truck rundown. If you guys want to see more into that, I did a video on how much the truck actually cost me. If you want to know that, you can go watch that video. I kind of broke everything down. So yeah, you can go click on that if you want. So, bed liner paint job, chrome stock mirrors. It has a rough country lift, but it has FabTech drop brackets. So this truck, when I bought it, actually already had a 6-inch kit. So all these drop brackets and everything are made by the company FabTech. And then, see, that lift kit though that was in it was a really old lift kit, and it was junk. Like the shocks were junk. Actually the shocks were okay, but the springs were junk. Pretty much everything else in it was junk. So the only thing that still remains from that lift is the drop brackets, but everything else is rough country, except for these are still the FabTech shocks. So yeah. Alrighty guys, so how does a kid like me, 19 years old, somehow acquire the money straight out of high school to build this truck, his dream truck, and also spend 10 grand on a daily driver? Also, some kid called me out for having a coexist sticker. Look at that, it's made out of guns, okay? Seriously think I'd have a coexist sticker on the back of my car? I mean, I know it's a Civic and everything, but, you know. But yeah, so pretty much I have countless amount of time and money into this truck, and this car I bought outright, pretty much paid cash for it. So how do I do that at 19 years? All right, so pretty much how that happens, how you can do that. Because a lot of people, all right, what they do is they go to college, they get themselves into a shit ton of debt, they get out of college, they're poor for the next 10 years, and then they can start making money for themselves. What I did, went to college for 1 semester, decided that it was stupid, dropped out, all right, got myself a full-time job. I work my full-time job, and 90% of what I make, I do not touch. I spend my money on gas and food. That's it. And also like insurance, and which my car insurance is pretty cheap because I get like benefits from work or whatever that kind of help with that. And this truck is also 20 years old, so actually it's older than 20 years old. It's a 96. So my insurance is actually pretty cheap, but stuff like that's all I spend my money on, is what I have to spend my money on. So pretty much 90% of my check goes into the bank, and I don't touch it. So that's what allows me to do stuff like this. So when I need money to do something, like the tires that I'm gonna buy, I go and do that. If you can't pay for something 3 times, then you can't afford it. So for example, like with the car, that's different. I would have had to have 30 grand in the bank account to buy this car. I did not have 30 grand in the bank account. I had just enough money to pay for it, but I needed the car for work, so that's what I had to do. But for like something that's not a necessity, like the tires that I'm gonna buy, or the bumper that I'm gonna buy, or doing all this to the truck that I didn't have to do. Those kinds of things, if you can't pay for it multiple times over, then you cannot afford it. Technically you can afford it, but it's just not a wise decision. So I like to be money smart, all right? I started my lemonade stand, and if you guys get that reference, then you get it. But if you don't get the reference, you don't get it. So look it up, lemonade stand, JR Garage. Anyway, started my lemonade stand, worked at my lemonade stand, just like the hat says, you gotta work for it. You want anything in life, you gotta work for it, all right? Like this morning, all right? It's my day off, okay? My boss texts me at 5:30 this morning. He goes, hey, can you come in today? I lean over and I'm like, okay, damn straight I can. Went to work. That's how at 19 I can afford this stuff. It's called work ethic and being smart with your money. So, for any of you kids that are out there and you're like, oh man, well, when I'm 19, I'm gonna be in college and I'm gonna be broke. And I'm not saying don't go to college, okay? I obviously don't have the life experience yet to that degree to tell people what to do with their lives. But even if you're not gonna go to college and you're just gonna go get a job, which actually, it's not even that you're just gonna go get a job. You're gonna go get a job at a college, or you're gonna go do a trade or whatever. That's perfectly fine. And you can still get things that you want. Like, I've wanted a truck like this for my entire life. I actually saw at a car show one time, like a late 80s F-150. And it had like a huge lift, huge tires. It was actually slightly bigger than this one. Tires were slightly bigger. It was also a short bed though, so that could, and I was like 7, so that could be why it felt bigger too. But it was a big truck and it was a Ford and I liked it, all right? And since that day, I had always wanted one. So I built myself one. So you just kind of need to put your mind to it. You know what I mean? Like if you want something, you gotta work hard for it and you gotta put your mind to it. So I saved up my money, built the truck, and now I get to modify the truck. And what I said also about having to like pay for things multiple times over, that's the reason why I didn't do the whole truck and then put the tires on it right away, because at the time I did not have enough money to do everything to the truck and get the tires. So the tires waited until I could build up the bank account to the next level and get the tires that I want. Pretty much I got all of my information on money and finances and everything like that from Dave Ramsey. All right, I'm sure some of you guys have heard of him. Your parents probably listen to him on the radio, but basically he has this total money makeover thing that he does, and he teaches people how to be smart with their money. And he says a lot of very smart things. One of the things is that, like, you got to get rid of all your debt. All right, that's the first thing, is you got to get rid of all your debt. Then you got to build like a safety net of like $1,000, and then you got to move that to $5,000, and then you got to move that to being like, just keep moving up in how much money you have saved up before you go and you decide to buy things. So that's kind of where I got my whole mindset from, of like, if you want it, this is how you can figure out if you can afford it or not. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents on this whole thing, guys. This video was requested to me again, so that's why I'm making it. And yeah, I mean, hopefully that answers your questions. How a kid like me can afford a truck like this. It's called hard work and being smart with your money. Alrighty, guys. Thank you all for watching. If you want to follow my Instagram, right here below. I'm actually going to be recording another video this week. I might be dropping 2 videos this week. This one, another one, no, just kidding, 3. I might be dropping 3 videos this week. So make sure to hit the subscribe button. And they won't be all as boring as this one. This is just because somebody asked me the question and I wanted to answer the question because he actually wanted me to make a video on it. So yeah. Alrighty, guys. Thank you all for watching. This thing is freaking, holy crap, this thing is like gone. Hi, buddy. This thing is like, oh my god. Oh, look at that. It's pretty cool looking, but that thing needs a shit ton of work. So, thing that I'm going to be doing. All right. And what I said also about how you need to, oh fuck.